toil and labor coming out in reverse. So it's like we keep trying to work hard and get nowhere. Let's see what the energy is off of that. Okay. Main female. Yeah, so the main female is working hard and getting nowhere. So let us see what else we need. Number 38, number 2, we have pathway, wealthy man, and sudden wealth in reverse. So it's like the sudden wealth is being held back, but there's a wealthy man and a pathway opening. So we'll go with that. All right. Let's see what else. If anything else. Hello. I'm Lara Jo, Siren Song Lover. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Come on in. Ishmi, we're doing collective reads, babe. So if you come in and the energy resonates, come on in. Otherwise, we're doing collective reads. So we are going to be in that position of privileged lady, right? We had some blocks on our path. We do have it opening up, okay? So never fear. You've been doing the work, right? You haven't been out there lying, stealing, cheating. You'll be okay. False person and official person. So this was somebody trying to pass off as us, like say potentially in court, right? That is being seen as false. Like people are out here trying to steal intellectual property. They're trying to destiny swap. And the divine is finally saying, no, we don't do that here. So pathways opening up, be willing to follow them. All right. So unexpected income. Keep going. And that may be a really big message for me as well. Keep going, even when it feels hard, even when it feels scary. It's kind of like the sun shows up every day, so should you, right? You made it through the night. All right, courthouse. So yes, everything that's been done in the dark is being seen, right? It didn't go unnoticed. And in the digital age, right, that's all tracked. No matter how much you try to erase a number or erase messages, it's all being tracked, okay? Every keystroke. So be careful out there. That's also why I tell people, I'm like, don't do stupid things. Don't be out here being reckless. Don't be hurting people. Because this is all being seen. Like, people have been doing things for decades thinking they were getting away with it. Now realizing that, oh no, there was that trail that led straight back to their door. Okay? Like, again, they think they're out here actually getting away with it. And it's like, no, there was a trail that led straight back to you. All right. All right. So imprisonment, distant horizon, message, marriage. This is someone trying to put you into a false marriage, false love. Again, being seen. It feels with family room in there, it's like it was a family effort to try to keep you stuck stagnant. And again, did not go unnoticed. So imprisonment and poverty. Whoever was messing around in the court system, they were trying to pass off as you. They are facing the consequences of their action, right? That bed that they were so comfortable making, now they have to lie in it. So let them. That's also why I'm huge on letting people do what they want to do, because they'll go spend all that time, money, energy, effort, and then get themselves in trouble. It's like, you know what? You can do what you want to do. I'll let you. I'll just move out of the way. That's the other thing. Okay, we need to be really comfortable about removing ourselves, right? When it becomes a dangerous situation, removing yourself, don't cause a fuss, don't cause a fight, just get out. That's a lesson that's been kind of coming up, is make sure you're being very protective and proactive over your energy. Make sure that you are cutting people out that truly are just trying to siphon energy off of you, okay? Conserve your love, conserve your energy. Yeah. It's also why I don't go chasing after men, because I'm like, I've got so many things that as a woman I have to produce and multiply. So if I have to chase after someone, I'm wasting valuable energy for my mission, my priorities. So like I had a dude, he wanted me to chase him, and he wanted me to drop all my responsibilities for him. Well, he did not have nearly as many responsibilities as I had, and it was like, I'm not gonna waste my time chasing you, pursuing you, running all over the country after you because I've got stuff I have to do. And he didn't like that. He's like, well, I deserve to be chased. I'm like, yeah, but not by me. It's not worth my energy to expend here. Like, you need to go find someone more your speed. Because chasing after men is not for me. Message of concern. Message of concern, this feels like your body saying like, hey, slow down. Slow down. So message of concern, if your body's telling you you're tired, please rest. If your body's telling you that something doesn't feel safe, please listen. Okay, so that message of concern, this is number 14. This is the temperance energy. So message of concern coming through. Let's see what information we need to glean from that, if anything. All right, journey. Okay, so this feels like if we're going with message of concern off of our body talking to us, this is tapping in with yourself, doing the internal work, doing the journey within to be able to get through safely. All right, again, listening to your body, listening to the environment, resting when you need to, removing yourself when you need to. All right. Let us see if anything else. I am Lara Jo, Siren Song Lover. We're kind of doing collective energy reads, so please, if you come in and you're resonating, tap the like button, tap the share button, follow me, sow that energy in. All right, so I was talking about this. Okay, so let's talk about a few things. Calling your energy back is huge. So we have false person, and main female. Thank you for the heart hands, my love. And I love your name, Squeak Living, gorgeous, baby. So thank you. So false person, main female. People were trying to impersonate you. And the worst type of way, again, it's being shown. It's like you cannot copy the original, right? So they keep trying and trying, but all it keeps showing is that they're not true. This comes out a lot in people that they're like down, like say you're a person that loves to dress flashy, right? And they'll see it first and they'll kind of be like, oh, I'm not so sure about that. But then they'll pop out the next day wearing the exact same fit. And then try to pull it off as theirs. And it's like, no, and it'll start being shown because it wasn't truly their style. So they'll start being shown that they're not comfortable in what they're wearing because it wasn't their idea, right? So false person, main female, knowing that whatever they were trying to do behind the scenes isn't going to work. If you identify as having energy twins, like people that are siphoning off of your energy, that would be a cord cutting, first off, but also just calling your power back. If you know you have people that are trying to copy you, calling your power back, being very protective over what you're doing, where you're going, what you're enjoying, so that they don't try to ruin a good thing. All right. Let us see. What else? Man. Okay, is anybody else just going through it energetically? Can you tell? It's also why I've been trying to encourage everyone to rest. I'm like, if you're going through it energetically, breathe, rest, drink water, meditate. Like, if you can't do anything about it right now, or it isn't going to matter in 5 months, don't waste more than 5 minutes on it right now. Conserve your energy where you can, where you need to, because we've got bigger fights to fight, right? Let us see. Is there anything else right now? Okay. Courthouse. Yeah. This is the other part. I know I have a lot of people that kind of come through my collective that have court things going on. It's like, if there's nothing you can do about it right this second, I need you to understand that you can't do anything, so drop into that thing that you truly need right now. So courthouse. This is being affected and handled by people in higher positions. Let them work it out. You go do what you need to do, okay? Even if that means taking a nap. rest. All right. We'll take those away. Okay. Pathway, high honor, family room, concern, thief, and unexpected income. All right. Oh, let's talk about this. Okay, so pathway, high honor. So this is that feeling of you took the high ground. You're like, you know what? I see what's going on here. We're going to move differently. And with family room, concern, thief, and unexpected income, you like that doppelganger energy. It's like, oh, if we can copy her energy, maybe we can steal this, or his energy. Place that gender where it is. So it's that like, oh, but it causes concern when you pull your energy back and you aren't watering your family or whoever that person is that's trying to siphon off of you. They start to get concerned because then their plan doesn't work. It's that guilty by association. It's like people trying to put you in a place where you're not actually meant to be so that you'll take the fall for something. But you saw the pathway, you took it, and that kept your hands clean. And that's a huge thing that I talk about. I'm like, keep your hands clean. Even when you're feeling like a petty Betty, keep your hands clean because the universe is going to handle it way better than you are. Let the universe do the heavy lifting. You just move safely, get out the way, and watch. All right? Sit back, drink your tea. Yeah. And that's a huge thing. I'm like, okay, so squeak living, my love. So what I love, I have enough wisdom to be able to see long term how people end up doing themselves dirty. Like I look at people and I was like, I'm so mad, but then like, you know what, Lara, take your hands off. They're gonna meet someone that's gonna wanna tangle with them and make their life hell. So just dial back, watch from a safe distance, and let them fight their own battles. Because the universe will send them the next version of themselves that really knocks their clock. They're like, oh, so. No. Keep your hands clean. Move accordingly. Conserve your energy too. I know with, like I do have, okay, here's what I was going to say about destiny swapping. Maria, we're doing collective energy reads, babe. So what'll happen is people will see the destiny that you have coming and they'll try to steal it, right? But they'll try to steal it while putting blocks in your path. And where that becomes tricky is because when they put those blocks in the path, they're actually altering your free will because they want your destiny. So they'll take your destiny, which is already kind of corrupt because you had all these people trying to mess with it, right? And it's like you actually do get to go off on a different path and live a happier life because they wanted your life so bad. That's not how, like, energetic exchange, though. It's like you wanted to make someone's life harder, so now you'll know what their pain is. Like, don't ever say you want to walk a mile in someone's shoes or have their gifts because then you will be shown how they became that person. So, I do think destiny swapping is kind of funny, especially when it goes wrong. Because I'm like, you guys were told that you stay in your own lane. Like, I have people that tried to actually completely destiny swap with me, and they've been doing it for hundreds of years. And I see how when I called my energy back from that, she fell ill with cancer. And so did her family. So karmically, I go, oh, you guys want to be me so bad? Okay, you can have that. So that's another part. Don't ever sweat about it. It's like women that try to steal other women's men. I'm like, you're just signing up for her heartache, sis. Go ahead, take that trash panda man because she's going to be able to live a much more beautiful life, or he's going to be able to live a much more beautiful life. Like, let them go. Let them go. All right. Pathway. Yes. Seeing the pathway. Seeing the pathway. And sometimes it's walking that pathway with that faith over fear mindset of, I don't know what the next step is. I can't see the next step, but I'm going to keep walking because I know it's safer than being back there. And I'm not hugely religious, but I'm going to give this example. I believe it was Lot's wife that looked back at her old life and got stuck, right? She got turned into a pillar of salt because when you look back at what you lost, you're going to get stuck wanting to keep going back there because it's always that, oh, I can fix it, or oh, I can XYZ. So when you are moved to safety, don't look back. Know that you were moved to safety, right? Keep going. It's kind of like if you were at a disaster site, and it's like you don't have time to think about all that you left behind at a disaster site. You just have to get to safety. And sometimes what that pathway is, like, you don't know what it is or where it is, but you know that you're walking and you're going to get to safety, and then you're going to be able to address and move from there. I had to tell someone this week when they were talking about someone they were super invested in. I was like, you dodged a bullet by getting away from that person. I go, I know you want to turn around and see what they're up to, or you want to turn around and re-engage, but I'm like, no, you literally dodged death by escaping that person. And actually, to that person, my words were, you'd better thank Asmodeus for protecting you, because you didn't see what they had intended for you. So when you are moved to safety, again, by your spiritual team, whether it be the dark side or the light side, please know that you dodged a bullet. Okay, so don't look at it. There were things that were being said, that were being done behind the scenes that you had no idea about, that would break your heart. I speak from personal experience, right? Like, when you start learning what people were truly doing behind the scenes, you'll be like, I never would have done them like that. Or you never even think about, like, how angry they are, but it's not your problem. That's like their own thing to worry about, because whatever is wished out there returns to sender. So people wishing the worst, I'm like, they're only going to get that energy recycled. All right. Hello. I am Lara Jo, Siren Song Lover. We're doing just kind of a collective energy read. If you resonate, please interact. Reciprocity is how we get good, clear channels. When you're interacting, then we know whose energy is kind of popping in there. All right, let's see what we need for the collective energy. This is one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give right now when everything's said and done. You don't have to know why they did it, right? You don't have to know why anyone does anything. You just have to see what they did and keep moving. So if you want to know, like, why me? You don't need to know why. You just need to be able to see that it happened, what was done, and keep moving. And even if you can't see what was happening, this is the other part. Stop ignoring your intuition, please. If your intuition, and I'm like, this has been a lesson really hard this week for me. Like, I, again, have had intuitive nuds, and then I ignore them, and then it goes sideways. I was like, this is what I get for not listening. So when your body tells you something's off, you don't have to know. You just have to know, right? It's that intuition is your inner knowing or your inner standing, that you may not be able to see everything with your physical eyes, but if your intuition picks up on it, it's bigger than you realize. Your intuition saves your life more than you realize. That's your ancestors. All right. Let's see. The Roast Iconic deck does not want to speak right now. I don't know why. That's okay too. Okay, I'll take that. Triggered. Putting boundaries with people triggers them. Okay, so that's that part. I did talk to somebody today. They're like, this person's so imbalanced. They're violent, blah, 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 blah. I was like, yeah, because you finally started telling them no. And I don't know if anybody else has experienced this. If you have, please raise your hand. You ever tell a toxic person that doesn't respect boundaries no? Like, you would think that you kicked their favorite puppy. And it's like, no, like, be triggered somewhere else. Like, I'm allowed to say no. Yes. So, it's like the more you call back your energy, it's like the harder they come at you. It's like, oh, this is a perfect example. Squeak a living. I love this. So I had somebody who, and it takes a lot for me to want to cut people off. It takes a lot for me, honestly, to like not mess with people. And they're hello, Nico. So I had a friend that she said she didn't want to be friends with me, and I said, cool, I agree. Like, we're not healthy for each other. I completely agree. I blocked her husband. I cut ties, because I'm like, you tell me you don't want to be friends. I agree. I didn't fight with her. I just said, okay, fine. Cut ties. She showed up at my house drunk and wanting to fist fight me. And one of my friends, who I said, don't let her into my house, let her in my house. But it was like, you told me you didn't want to be friends. I agreed. I was peaceful. I removed myself from the situation. I didn't circle back around. And she showed up wanting to fist fight. And I was like, how toxic is it that you make a decision, right? Cutting ties is healthy. I say okay. And that triggered her. And I was like, why do you want someone to fight with you so bad? Honestly. Like, it's not worth the effort. Yes. Well, and that's also what happened this week. So first off, in my own personal world, I had someone very close to me experience a betrayal. And it was like, I called that years ago, but okay. And then they had tried to cut off that energy. I was like, be careful, because even when you and especially when you do energetic cord cuttings, that person, like, yeah, they may not know that you did that cord cutting, but all of a sudden their energy tries to reattach. And so even with cutting ties and or cord cuttings, I always tell people, I'm like, you have to ignore when they try to reattach to you. So if you do like an energetic or even just a cord cutting, like, you have to be aware that they will try to reattach. But if you're truly done with it, you have to be like, yeah, no, this is, our contract here is done. And it may not be done forever, but it's done for now until we can actually come to negotiation and healing in our contract. And until then, there's the door, right? Yeah, they do go crazy, Squeak Living, and it's like, seriously, the biggest joke. It's like, you didn't treat me well, you didn't respect the connection, and then now you want to get freaked out because I said, okay, bet. Like, and that's where I also tell people, I'm like, go find a safer woman to play with. Like, it isn't me. Because I'm very big on, I will match your disrespect. So if you're going to come and go crazy and be disrespectful, I'm going to probably slam the door in your face. But it's going to be one of the lines we used to have when my kids were young is that we do not negotiate with terrors. We're like, yeah, we don't, if you're going to be a baby and throw a tantrum, you can do that. And I'm going to go stand over here, and when you're calm, you can get up and talk to me. That's also in this life too, where I'm like, I don't negotiate with people that aren't, like, if you're not respectful, okay, good day. You don't listen to no, that's a no. And that's the other, is cleaning up our circle, right? Like, you have to make sure that if you want the best life, you have to make sure you have the best people around you. And this betrayal that came for that other person in my life, and they were like, it really do be like your homegirls or your homeboys that will do the dirtiest. And this is someone, this party that's complaining about that is someone that I know has done really big betrayals on myself, on me. And I'm like, wow, man, you feel backstabbed by that girl. Wait till you realize your own family is doing you worse. Like, the betrayal hits harder. And I don't think that that's a truth that they're ready to accept yet. Yet that truth is coming really soon, because I've been speaking on that for years with them, and they hadn't seen the results of their affiliations. And now they're starting to see those results. And I was like, yeah, wait until the betrayal comes from the people that you actually took care of, that you loved, that you nursed back to health, and you realize that they wanted you gone. Yeah. Yep. And Squeaks, my babe, I had to cut off a 33-year friendship, and that was so incredibly hard. I knew that girl since I was 7 years old. Like, we had been through the worst, and I realized, like, yeah, she was never a fan. She was always like that secret hater for like 33 years. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, except for you kind of come to a point, like, for me personally, there are points that I've come to where I'm like, I'm just so beyond fed up. Like, and this is really hard for me to say. And also, like, it says a lot, because I've gotten to the point where I'm like, there are some people I never want to see again. ever. Not this lifetime, not next lifetime, not from my past lifetimes. Like, those are the people that I'm like, I really, truly just want to completely write you out of the story of my life. I never want to deal with you ever again. And to actually come to that point is a big deal and really hard for me, because I really am one of those, like, I do believe trust, loyalty, those are all huge things. But I'm like, if you're going to be behind the scenes doing the worst, no, go yourself, because I always showed up genuine, loyal, loving, and yet not here. So it is hard, but it's necessary. And honestly, like, how it came with me, it was like I got so fed up because, you know, she could always, like, she was just, I don't know how to put it. It was like she saw me going through my worst. She knew. She had already seen so much of my life, the worst, and then all of a sudden she's absent. I don't know. You just come to a point that, okay, so that was, I was trying to figure out how to get there. So it was one of those that I always contacted her, she never contacted me. And when I stopped contacting her, and a lot of people, like, I stopped trying to contact a bunch of people, and I noticed how silent my phone was. And then when they would feel that cord coming, I'd be like, okay, I'm done. And then they would text me like, oh, I love you. And I'm like, it's such the fake, like, I can feel the fakeness in that text. And that's a no for me. Because if I have to fake anything, we're not going. I don't want to do it. I don't want to put pants on. I don't want to. And that's the other part. When people say they love you, but it's like, you say you love me, but I hear the lie because your actions actually contradict you saying you love me. And that's fine, but I'm also not going to be here to receive that. So. Hello, I'm Lara Jo, Siren Lover. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Oh, man. Self-care. Okay, that is the biggest thing. Tapping into that self-care, love. And this is also, I've had to come to a lot of points with a lot of people. It's like, you have to put your mask on first before you put theirs on. You have to make sure emotionally you're okay before you help anyone else. So self-care, well, people say, oh, that's selfish. No, that is truly love. That's how we keep ourselves going. So start tapping into what you need and not everyone else. All right? Even cutting toxic people out of your life, that's self-care. And that was the thing, the friend that I would text her, she would never text me back, or she all of a sudden was like, I love you. It was like, yeah, no, I don't. I had a lot of peace after that relationship finally came to an end. Like, it was very peaceful that I never had to worry about, am I going to get a text from so-and-so that I don't want to read? It takes so much out of you're like, oh. Or it's that fear of, these are also people that was like, you did trust falls with them and they weren't there to catch you. And it was like, yeah, I'm never going to do a trust fall again with you ever, because every time I've needed you, you've proven that you are too busy fraternizing with other people to actually be a part, like, be there. So that's a no. I would rather just make sure that I'm taken care of than praying that that other person is truly going to do what they said they would do, because they never do. And that was one of the biggest piece of advice I give to people. Like, I see the best in everyone. That was that friend that was 33-year friendship, ironically. She's like, yeah, your best and worst quality is that you see the best in everyone. It's like, actually, I see both the best and the worst. I just choose to believe the best until people show me the worst. And that's where, okay, so as a Libra, I'm like, if I be tripping, my scales be tipping. So I will see the best in you until you show me too bad, and then we're going to handle that. So we get a lot of that attitude of like, oh, Libras are passive aggressive. And I'm like, no, we'll just let shit slide until the scales become too imbalanced, and then you're going to find out all the deeds you did. So that friend, though, when she's like, you see the best in people, I was like, no, I see the worst too. I just choose to believe the best. So this is the part where I had to get to advice-wise, even for myself. If you want the happiest or the most peaceful life, see the worst in people and move accordingly. I know that feels like very strong, harsh advice, but no, see the worst in people, because then you won't be surprised when they do the worst. Yeah. Yeah. And family is not family. Friends are not friends. You really do have to be, if they are not for your highest good, cutting them out, because they may not take advantage of you, but if you have children or anybody that's vulnerable and dependent upon you, they'll take advantage of them. I had to cut out a lot of friendships as well, and potential like collaborations, because it was like my friend's uncle got aggressive with me and refused to listen to no, and her family was totally on board with it, and they were like, they would have entrusted it. So then I was like, if you won't listen to me, a grown woman, telling you no, I'm not interested, then I know you won't listen to my children, and that's a no for me. So I've cut off a lot of relationships, friendships, partnerships, because I'm like, if I can't trust you with my kids, my food, my money, or my man, you are not welcome in my circle. Yeah. Yeah, and Squeak, I've started coming to the point where I'm like, I don't even trust anymore. I'm like, I just don't even trust. I'm always expecting the worst, which I know is no way to go to life, but I'm like, no, everybody that I've ever trusted showed me why I should never have trusted them. And then I go, oh, okay. Everyone. Even the people I love the most. Like, yeah. Yeah. I've come to the point, even with men. Like, that's the part. Get loud, get aggressive, take up space. If someone's threatening you, get loud, get aggressive, take up space. Right? Bark at men if you have to. Growl, gnash your teeth, act unpredictable, because they don't take no for an answer. I had to start telling men in the dating realm when they get too close to my environment, or people that just want to, I'm like, don't ever show up at my house unexpected, because you're going to find surprises you don't want to find. And I've started telling people, I'm like, don't show up at my house unexpected, because I'm going to shoot first and ask questions later. Like, the things that have been done and the environments I've had to be in, I'm like, I'm not even asking questions. We're shooting first, and if you can answer them afterwards, cool. If you can't, you were in the wrong place at the wrong time, because you knew you were in places that you should never have been. So, yeah. Get protective. Get loud. Just like the men. Okay, so here's how you know the fragile men that took the problem with, like, women trusting bears over the men, right? You go, oh, because women aren't actually safe around you. The men that were like, well, they should trust men and not all men. It's like, no, women have to treat all men like they are a danger until they're proven otherwise. I'm going to tell you, the majority of the abuse I endured sexually was within my own home, from my own family, from the people that I loved the most. So the call comes from inside the house, and we have to look at everyone like they could potentially hurt us or that with which we love the most, and be very protective over that. And listen to the survivors, please. That was the irony. People wanted to know who the predators and the liars and the snakes were, and then the survivors started finally showing everybody, and then they're like, oh no, not him, he's a good guy. No, he's not. You know he's not. You just like the service that he provides for you, and it's not a good one. Yeah. Yes. Same. Squeak. Same. And it's a kick in the pants. I don't know about for you. For me, it was a kick in the pants, because then you go, what was ever truly real? And then you question your own sanity, you question your own judgment, you question everything, where you're like, why did I stay so long, or how did this happen, or this, that, and the other thing. I will say this, like, I was in a marriage for 15 years, and the last 10 I was very heavily medicated, like, to the point, and that's how he also kept such a tight control over me, because it was like every time I would feel sad, add more medicine, because it would be able to keep me controlled. And when I started coming off the medicine is when he truly had a problem, because, like I say, with depression medicine, it's like, oh, I'm feeling too much, just put more on it, instead of actually fixing what's hurting you. So I understand that, and that is such a hard reconciliation. Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, okay, so I love that we're talking about this because I work a lot with PTSD with trauma, right? So, that's that part is when we're triggered, we go fight, flight, or freeze, fight, flight, or fawn. And a lot of us do get stuck, and they ask like, well, why didn't you leave sooner? First off, a lot of us didn't even know this was abuse. Like, I honestly didn't know what my family or my ex-husband had done to me, or even my children, until 2 years ago. And I know that, well, how did you not know? No, they kept me in an incredibly tight encapsulation and protected. Yeah, it was so that they could keep me stuck, stagnant, doing free work, while being abused. And it's like, yeah. So PTSD, anxiety, depression, that's all deep rooted emotional stuff that we unpack, right? Like, I try to give people a lot of tools on how to start to regulate your system through tapping, through breathing, through grounding. Those are all things I work a lot with. But in the unfortunate thing with PTSD, anxiety, and depression, there are blocks. I'm sure you're gonna, or you have, or you're going to find it. There are blocks of time that you literally did just check out, like you were on autopilot because you were so triggered, so stressed constantly. And that's also a hard part because it's like, for me, I'm like, how did I miss so much of my children growing up? Because I was in that PTSD trigger depression. Like, I have whole blocks of memory loss because of so much trauma. And to look back at that too, and then like the kids with like, oh, well, you weren't there. Well, shit, I was fighting to survive. Like, yeah, so a lot of that is starting to recognize, a lot of it is becoming cognizant of your triggers, your what triggers you, and starting to try and A, figure out the psychology behind what the triggers are, but B, then removing yourself from the environment. So yes, I totally understand that, Squeak, because the panic attacks are just, I mean, even afterwards, I don't know if you're still, I don't know where you are in your journey. Like, I've been out for 2 years now, and I'm still having a really hard time trying to integrate back into normal life after so much trauma. Like, um, the irony, I had somebody the other day, because it's been 2 years since I've been out, almost to the day. And let me check this really quick. Okay. That's cute. That's cute. That's cute. Okay. I know that love is about to knock on my door again, which feels completely far fetched. But Source and I talk a lot between readings, between everything. I know it's coming. I'm trying to mentally prepare myself to be able to invite another one into my life. And I had a health point, checkpoint reference come up this week because my kid, who I love, but I've been alone for 2 years now. I'm very protective. Like, I don't want anyone sleeping in my bed. I enjoy being able to take up space in my own bed in my own life. And I know that a partnership's coming. And my kid this week, she's like, I could sleep in your bed. Because she spent a few nights over this week, which is out of the ordinary. But she's like, I could sleep in your bed. And she's like, the look you gave me, and it really was true. She's like, you looked so scared. I was like, yeah, because I felt like a trapped animal. Like, I actually do like being able to take up space in my own life and feel like safe. So it's also a checkpoint to be able to be like, okay, are you as ready as you say you are, or do you have more work to do? So when that checkpoint came up where I looked panicked, that was the checkpoint for me to be like, okay, am I as ready about bringing a partner into my life as I say I am? Because I may need to adjust that and actually make room. We'll see. The thought of being with someone else actually does give me hella panic attacks. Anyone else on that? All right. Feral and Oracle. And that is how we tap into our divine gifts. And I'm going to talk about that as well. When you tap in your divine gifts and you stop listening to others around you, you actually do tap in your divine gift. That's why I speak a lot on hermit mode, or like that Virgo energy of going within so you don't go without. So when you feel like people are trying to put you in a cage, you need to actually listen and move unaccordingly by being feral. And that's how, okay, for myself, I've been dealing with a lot of people that are run by structure. So the way to counteract their structure is to be unpredictable, right? They have a set pattern. Like their pattern, like they keep playing the same games, and I keep still like getting out of their box. And I was like, because you refuse to change, so instead I have to become unpredictable because you're more than predictable. So that's how you start those men that have to be regiment, that have to be kept on a schedule that you're trying to escape from. We do that by being unpredictable. And hello, Nomadic Witch. Thank you for coming in and supporting, babe. How's your day going, love? Thank you for the heart me, most definitely. Whew, yeah. I've been talking about like hella heavy stuff over here. So talking about healing and society dynamics and toxicity, walking away from the toxic people, the Empress. So yes, this is that energy of creating our own beautiful life, our own nest, what makes us happy. I think if anything, 2020 gave me clear vision on my nest was not a safe place. I understand that. What's going on? I understand that completely. But yeah. So Empress is like this is creating our own nest. What I was going with 2020, when we went into lockdown, I realized the people I was around, we didn't align anymore, and my nest felt uncomfortable and scratchy, like I didn't belong. So part of my journey since 2020 even is creating the Empress, like that life that makes me happy, feel abundant and safe. So that's the goal. When we are trying to create those environments that make us, not anyone else per se, us feel included and inclusive. So Empress, create your world. Even if no one else wants to join you. Even if no one else shows up, create your world, because you are the Empress. You are the ruler. Two of Swords, you've been in that stalemate energy, friend. So you don't want to make decisions. This is like that. And I'm gonna relate it to even my own personal life. It's like you have to cut certain things off, yet it's gonna hurt like hell. Yet if you keep going with that thing, it's going to completely destroy you. So Two of Swords is finally saying, I've got to make a decision. It's hurt now or hurt later. So you've been hurting later. You've been putting it off. You've been avoiding it. So Two of Swords is finally saying you have to make a decision on what it is that you want, what makes you happy, not anyone else. Protect your vibe and protect your tribe. The Hermit on the bottom wanting to pop out. So again, that very self-contained, like, and this is my vibe, right? And I was feeling it super hard earlier. So like, the days that my demons are super angry, like when someone intentionally, even energetically, is trying to mess with me, it's like my demons get angry and I want to pop off at the mouth. So it's, Hermit is saying, like, if you're feeling chaotic, if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling reactive, don't necessarily pop off. I want you to actually say it, because this is what I had to do this morning. I'm like, my demons are not going to play nice with people right now, so I'm just going to not put that on anybody else. So that Hermit energy is realizing, like, okay, this struggle is my own, and I have to go within so that I can preserve and conserve my energy. And that's a really big thing. Stop fighting fights with people that you're never going to win. Like, that was a vibe that I had this morning. It's like, stop fighting fights with people that you're never going to win. Period. Like, all you're doing is exhausting yourself. So moving accordingly. So definitely. Hello, Marie. You've been looking for me? Me personally, or just someone to bring guidance to you? Because if it's me personally, do I owe you money? Hello. Okay, so that's the challenge. I do a lot. I've been a lot. Oh, do I know you, Marie? Where from? Is this Marie? Is this Marie from Arizona that I used to work with? Okay. Well, that's a blast from the past. Hello. Well, you found me. How's it going? I was just talking about. No? Okay. Okay, so tell me, Maria, how we know each other. Okay. Oh, okay. Uh, the challenges where I was going with that. I'm really well known, and also I don't know a lot of people, so that's the challenge. The city that I used to work in, I grew up in that city. I worked all over that city, so I would be, um, oh, yeah. Which ones? Which ones? Um, Yeah. We would be, that was what would annoy my ex-husband because he's like, everywhere we go, you know someone. I was like, I don't even try. Like, a lot of people do know me, but I don't actually know them, or I know them, like, through work or through whatever. And I'm always like, yeah, you know. But that, that worked out because when, like, where I worked and where I lived wasn't close to each other. At one point, it was like 3 minutes away. I ran into someone in Walgreens where I lived. My ex-husband's like, how do you know someone everywhere? And I was like, because I worked in the medical field. I am like a wallflower. Like, I'm a very popular loner. So I know a lot of people. People don't know me that well, but we were on we were actually on a flight to Hawaii for our anniversary. I think it was our second year wedding anniversary. And actually two of the guys, one was a guy, he was an x-ray tech that I trained with. And then there was a nurse that I worked in the ER with they were both on that flight to Hawaii. It's like, how do you do that? I'm like, I don't know. A lot of people know me. I know a lot of people. It's kind of like, here's what I've learned. The spiritual women or the spiritual people of the city, or the witches, everyone knows them, but the witches, acquaintances, not friends. We keep everybody at arm's length. And I don't even love calling myself a witch because I'm like, I'm way more than that. But everybody knows, like, the spiritual people in town somehow, through some way. I can prove that through, like, my friends and stuff. Okay, 10 of Swords. We've gone through the betrayals. We've gone through the heartbreaks. And we're like, yeah, you know what? No more. I am no longer going to be your sacrifice, be in the water, have you throwing arrows at me, having thrown swords at me. So 10 of Swords is betrayal. It's rock bottom. It's like you have reached, you're underwater, they're throwing swords at you. And it's intimate. It's personal. Right? Like, they wanted to hurt you. But that's them problem. 7 of Wands. This is that carrying burdens. We're doing a lot of passions for everyone else. We're toiling away, fighting others' fights, but we're not actually, it's not for us. Okay. The Devil on the bottom. And we're going to say a few things about this. So the devil here, and I do have more cards, so we're going to get into those too. Okay. Beautiful. So the devil, this is Capricorn energy. It's like very regimented, OCD, stuck, stagnant in that rut. So devil energy is saying, okay, you need to let go of anything that keeps you feel burdened, that's chained down, that keeps you feel like you are not progressing. So letting go. And the devil, or that energy, will always come at you the hardest right before a breakthrough for a few reasons. Because it's like, if they can break you right before you get it, then they can take it and do the rest with it and say that it was theirs. But B, it's also the universe saying, if you really want this thing, you have to show that you can handle it. You have to show that you can handle the good days, the bad days, the breakdowns, the breakthroughs. So the devil come to say to you, like, you can't do it. And you have to be like, you're a liar. I can. I will. I have. I am. I'll do it twice and take pictures to prove to you. So Ace of Coins, when you finally put down 10 of Swords, put down those burdens, 7 of Wands, finally say no more. No more. I will no longer be backstabbed. Yes, if you want, go ahead and, do you want to ask your question, or do you want me to just feel if it's a yes or a no? So then we have, or I can grab the pendulum. So if you want to ask a question, I can grab the pendulum and we can do a yes, no that way. Ace of Pentacles, this is saying once you make that breakthrough, you break those bonds, those chains, you get the financial payoff. I always talk about breaking generational trains, right? Generational trains. Generational chains. You not only break their chains, you also inherit their abundance. The things that they couldn't spend in their lifetime because they were indentured, you get that, friend. So, and not anyone else, because if you were doing the work, you were the one saying no, you're the one that is going to receive that payout. So Ace of Pentacles is once you let go of other people's fights, their burdens, their worries, and beat the devil, say, I'm no longer going to be chained to this, you bring in that financial success. You bring in Six of Wands. This is that victory and success publicly. It's like whatever was being done behind the scenes, this is publicly going to be seen. You're going to be rewarded for what you've gone through. So 10-10, super important here, because we had 10 of Swords, we have 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands is finally saying, I'm going to take those burdens you gave me. Like, if you want to think of Wands as wood, right? I'm going to take all of that wood you gave to me, and I'm going to build the most beautiful life that I can get shade after it. So when they throw those at you, you don't have to send them back. You actually use them for your benefit. So 10 of Wands is finally saying, no, I'm going to grow beauty out of that shit you tried to handle me. Yeah. And then 6 of Coins. You'll finally feel like, oh, okay, I can breathe. All right, Marie. So if you want to ask your yes or no, and I'll grab the pendulum. Or ask yes or no. I'll see intuitively which comes through easier if you want to ask your question, babe. So, for Marie, is it a yes or a no? I guess I'll do it this way. Okay. I didn't quite get a yes or no. I got a few cards, though. Okay, so 6 of Cups. So 6 of Cups, this is being stuck in nostalgia, kind of like the past. We have wisdom here with the ancestors. So 6 of Cups, it's like we're stuck in that nostalgia memory lane. We do have, though, with 7 of Swords, that betrayal, that's heartbreak, that's cunning, deception, think sly, like fox energy. So it's like something from the past was intentionally deceptive. And it was done by the people that you love the most. It was mental mind games, okay? Trying to keep you stuck and stagnant. I do see with King of Wands. So King of Wands is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But this feels like that very prideful, egotistical, burn anything that displeases me energy. And once we let go of that or realize what it is, because a lot of it's seeing it, realizing what it is, and then removing it from your life. So that very boastful, toxic, arrogant energy, and once you release it, you finally clock it, you're like, no, I see the deception. We bring in the 9 of Coins. That's financial success. That's like goodness, right? 9 is about completing the cycles. So once we kind of get, this feels like obligation, and I don't know if this is your yes or no question. I guess please let me know if this is resonating for you, because I kind of, went off what I had. Okay. All right, so finally saying that obligation is not mine. Like, if you saw them draw a sword mentally on you, or you can see it, you gotta say no. Because once you finally let that go, it really does feel like it's around emotions. But baby, you can't. You have to put your mask on first, because they would do it to you in a heartbeat. They wouldn't feel obligated. Like, that's also where I had to start saying with people is like, if they wouldn't have helped me, I'm not going to help them. And I know that that sounds like a very selfish thing, but you really do have to start getting to, if that obligation is going to put you in detriment, like, no. Right? Everybody has to take responsibility for what they've done. So Obligations need to start going out the door. It's like, if it's your life or theirs, who are you going to choose? Right? If it's your safety, your stability, your sanity, is it you or them? Because I've got to the point, especially in the last 2 years, I'm like, if it's me or them, if this is a hill we have to die on, my blood's not getting shed today. So I know you can feel obligated, but at the same time, if they've done things to put you in compromising positions, you are not obligated to help them. I know that may feel harsh. And if you want, I mean, like, there's psychology side of stuff we can always talk about, but it's also, if it's your mental health, like, that's the other part. Your mental health, your physical health is your wealth. So if you are going into mental debt to help others, or financial debt, or spiritual debt, and no, no, no. Put your mask on first. I started doing that, like I say, with my ex-husband. I was like, I absolutely love him, and I put him above me for so long, and now I look at it and go, no, if it's me or him, he's on the chopping block, because he's proven to me every time that he is not actually a good or decent person. So when people show you who they are, believe them. It's like for my mom, right? My mom had offered to help me, and then she intentionally used that to manipulate me. I was like, you put me in dangerous and compromising positions because you're an asshole. Like, you had promised you could help me, and you helped everyone else, and you bragged about it, but then when I actually did need help, like I was in a dangerous situation, she was withholding valuable resources. So when people have, like, they want me to be obligated to my mom, like, oh, drop everything, blah, blah, blah. No. Because when I truly needed her to come through, she didn't. So, yeah. It's protecting yourself, babe. Okay. Alright. I think I'm gonna hop out. Okay, so, if you give me... Hold on. Let me check my phone. I have to go to the bathroom for 1 second. If you give me just a minute, I'll come back and I'll talk about this with you, Marie. Okay? But I need to get up and take a walk for a minute, and I am waiting for someone to contact me. Like, I do have to go do something on myself. And that's, you know what? That's me talking about obligations. Like, that was a point I came to today. So if you give me a minute, I'll be back. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. And who are you dealing with? Is it a mother figure? Because it feels like it's a mother figure, but let me know for confirmation, and I'll be back, babes. Hold on. Okay, so who is this in relation to you, Marie, that you feel obligated to? I have random decks that will have floating cards. Like, I'll finish a read and then the card will be on the floor. I'm like, you know what? That'll have to wait till the next time I get that box out. So I'm going to pull a few cards for wisdom messages. Messages from the Spirits of Nature Oracle. Butterfly regeneration. All right. Ooh, this has been coming up heavy the last few days. When you go through, I love intuition was flipped in there too. So cloud with imagination and butterfly with regeneration. All right. So first off, when you become a caterpillar, right? And this is why it's hard. You have to, once you go through the evolution or the transformation process, you can't go back to where you were before. So this is a multi-prong thing I'm going to talk about. So first off, when you are a caterpillar, you hang out with certain people, you eat certain things. Then you go through this huge transformation process, right? You go into the chrysalis, you de-goo, like you break down all the way, and then rebuild yourself like a butterfly, right? But when you come out of that chrysalis, it's like a struggle alone. And I know it feels really hard, but it's like you went through the process and you bust out of that chrysalis and you have to let your wings dry. No one can help you. That is a you process. But once you gain your wings, once you go through the transformation, you can't hang out with the caterpillars because you don't have the same body cell. You don't eat the same things. Like caterpillars eat leaves, right? Butterflies, they drink nectar. So you can't be hanging around with everybody once you go through the transformation. They'll guilt you. They'll say, oh, you need to come back to hanging out on the leaf with me as a butterfly. But no, you don't eat the same things. You can't do the same things, and you have different physical parameters that you can reach. So once you go through that process of the breakdown for the breakthrough, use the imagination that you have, like see the possibilities of where you can go with your new dimensionality and your new physical capabilities. So dream of a better day. You've gone through the hard part. You broke yourself down. You built yourself up. Dream of what it's like to be able to reach new heights without those restrictions. And hello, Nandi. How are you? I'm Larry Joe, Siren Song Lover. We're pulling from the messages from the Spirits of Nature Oracle to tip your favorite tarot reader, which is greatly needed. Cash App is Siren, capital S, Song, capital S, Lover, capital L, to book a one-on-one, because that's where we really do get into the big things. That's Ko-Fi, which is ko-fi.com/Siren Song Lover. It is in my link tree as well, guys. One-on-ones, we do Reiki, sound therapy, inner child healing, sometimes PTSD healing, ancestral veneration. I talk about ancestors a lot. I also assist you in connecting with your ancestors, right? Your ancestors want to talk to you. They have valuable information that you need, but you have to do that, right? You have to open that channel. You have to be willing to offer them space, bring guidance. Because a lot of us forget, like, our ancestors that are passed over do communicate with us. They do assist us. A lot of times I recommend that you speak to your ancestors to ask for wisdom on how they navigated the situations that you're going through, right? Like that deadbeat daddy, your grandma went through it too. And she may not be here still to tell you about it, but she can energetically convey to you how to navigate that treacherous water. Okay. Always speak into their higher self. That is of benefit. When you talk to the spiritual realm, make sure that you are using discernment and connecting with the correct people. And then dandelion healing. Healed people, heal people, hurt people, hurt people. It's also why I teach a lot of people like healing techniques, because it's like dandelion, we are all here to grow and heal. So how are we helping each other? When you get out of the fire, are you turning around and helping others heal, or are you Where are you going with that? Earth, home, number 14, ground in, tap in. Number 14 is temperance, knowing that life both hurts and heals. So temperance, okay, so let's talk about any of the elements. Water, right, can heal because it can wash away wounds. It can heal and, cleanse. It can also hurt you if you're inundated, if you're in water and you don't know how to swim. So understanding that home and balance, like, it's all here to help us grow and learn and evolve. Let's see. All right. Let's see if anything else out of here. Maybe not. I'm channeling like Adele, like hello. Or Lionel Richie. Alright, let's see. What else? Ocean, waves, number 27. We're gonna take this as going with the flow. Right? Stop fighting the evolution. Like, when you know the wave's coming, don't try to stop it. Like, go with it. You know, when you were in the wave pool as a kid, I don't know if somebody else has got this memory. In the wave pool as a kid, it's like, yeah, you could try to brace yourself and face the wave head on, or you could go, like, see it coming, get into the position to be able to ride it as far as you can. So ocean and waves, how are you riding the waves that you're being presented with? Are you like, okay, I'm going to let this emotional wave hit me and use it to propel me further towards the shore? Right? If you want to think about it that way, if we had waves and we were trying to get somewhere, how are we utilizing the current and the flow to be able to get further ahead? Stop fighting your own progression. Stop fighting your own waves of emotion. Wilderness, untamed, and island detachment. So even yourself being able to explore your wilderness alone and not get scared, but also with island being able to detach and willing to detach from people that are trying to ruffle your feathers. Okay. Let us see if anything else. All right. Okay. It wanted to come out. I was like, okay. Forest, diversity, okay, I love diversity. You have to be able to introduce yourself to new people. Diversity is all about how do we start meeting others and realizing that while we are all different, we are all the same. Right? We are all different, yet we are all the same. We may have a different job. We may have a different status. We may have different skin tone. We may have different features, but yet we're all human underneath it all. Like, if you cut me, I bleed. Like, if I cut you, you bleed. So diversity is understanding our unique differences, but also realizing that we're all the same and to stop hurting each other, right? That unity consciousness. All right. And cave initiation. You're being asked to go within. And this is one of my favorite things to say about cave or even that hermit energy of go within so you don't go without. Like, hermit is very much about, okay, so seek shelter. With cave and initiation, I want you to go within and seek that shelter within you so that you don't potentially get hurt by what's outside of you. So initiation is asking you to tap in, all right? Become serious about you. Become focused about you. Fine. Okay, we'll take those two. Wind with movement and volcano with release. It is time. So here is a big manifestation thing. If you're trying to get wind, like if you're trying to get something moving, speak to the wind. Release your pain. And I've had to do this, I don't even know how many times. And it really does work. Releasing your pain with volcano, let it go. Just erupt. You can't stop it, right? You have to follow the progression. So release and wind, let it be free. Let it go. Think of scattering ashes to the wind. I know when my brother passed away, I started channeling the song Dust in the Wind. And I got a lot of problems because I released my ancestors. I released 3 of my ancestors. And my family had a problem with it. But it was like their energy is meant to be released so that they can do better things. So when we leave from this earth, and this is a big thing too, don't hold on to your relatives. Like, even in boxes, like, even if they're cremated, Let them go. Because their peace, like their spirit deserves peace. So that was the thing. Like I say, I got a hard time from my family because they're like, "Oh, you released ashes." And I was like, "Yeah, because you can't hold ashes in a box and expect that spirit not to get restless." Okay. No, no. Sorry. I have to give somebody a ride. Settling that before I get caught into any more energy in the moment. So, hello. I'm Lara Joe. I'm Siren Song Lover. I do intuitive reads. I do a lot of PTSD, trauma, healing, all that jazz, Reiki, sound therapy, inner child, divination, ancestral veneration. We talk about it, all of it. So, honeybee, community. I'm out here trying to find my community, right? Like, we're all out here trying to network. How do we find our tribe? That is also being super authentic. If you want to find your real tribe, you have to be real honest about who you are, what you want, who you love. Like, that's how you find it. Love is not love or hate, which is the stronger emotion. It's authenticity. Being yourself is going to shine bigger than love or hate. So, be your weird self. Do the thing you love, because then you'll find the people that love you, right? Air, Ruach. So this is very, if you're an air sign, please let me know. Like the air sign, the speaking, clarity, communication, this is all very strong in here. It's finally saying what you want so you can receive that motion, that movement. With Ruach, because I've had to actually look up the card before, it's that movement. It's once you speak it. So whereas saying with speaking your worries to the wind, because I am a Queen of Swords, I'm an air sign myself. Like, I've got a lot of heavy air placement. So when you're feeling really heavy, going for a drive actually gives a lot of downloads and clarity, especially if you're an air sign. I was speaking to somebody last week who's a Gemmy, and they're like, I always get messages, I always get downloads when I drive. I was like, yes, because as an air sign, our information, our downloads come through the ethers. So that's how we get that motion. So when you're trying to manifest, speak it to the wind. When you're feeling turbulent, speak it to the wind and let it take it where it needs to be. Okay? Oh, it's magic. Volcano with release. So letting it go. Letting it go. It's unavoidable. It's like volcanoes. Everybody's so afraid of them erupting. Well, there's nothing you can truly do to stop it. So love life, live life. Grab it by the horns, keep going. Release what you can, release what you need to, especially if it's unavoidable. All right. And then Rose, love. Tap back into what you love. Please, please, please. Romance yourself, love yourself. Make that your job, your priority. That's a big thing for me. I'm like, part of my biggest job has been loving me. Hey, Viola, how are you, babes? I do have to go out. I've been going through it. To be honest. I was just thinking about how I have to go back out into the real world pretty soon. I'm like, I don't know what's going on in town, because earlier I had two sheriff like fly down the road, and I'm like, I'm a little scared to go out there right now, because I don't know. The energy outside is crazy. Life is crazy. And Viola, to be honest, I've been dealing with some betrayals and heartbreaks that were dropped on me last night, and I'm just like, what's the point anymore, honestly? And I hate being like that. You know, I guess that's like, when we have hope and faith, we set ourselves up for heartbreak. And you know, intuitively, right? Like, I knew what was going on. I saw it. I've been speaking on it, and I followed I kind of ignored my intuition and let it play out. And it really was like, oh, yep, no, I was right, and I wish I wasn't. Like, that's the other part. Okay, so here's the thing: being as a seer, and I have been since childhood. we see the really good things, but we also see the really bad things. And like, I know that there are some things I can't stop or avoid, and you know, people love it when you speak things that they love to hear, but when you say the things that they don't want to hear or see, then they shun you. So like, this is that part of, I saw things, I didn't intervene because I'm like, there's nothing I can do to intervene, and they still proved me right. And I'm like, that's the other, like, there are days that I wish I wasn't proven right at all. And then when I am right, and I'm like, yep, no. So that's that. And I don't know, I guess I know I'm just talking and I'm kind of devolving. It's like, I hope for the best, but I knew it was how it was going to turn out, and it did. And you know, I keep hoping that, Viola, but I'm like short on faith today. Okay, so here's the disheartening part. It'll get better, and then it just goes exactly straight the way I thought it was. And I'm like, well, fuck. Like, even when I try to speak positivity over it, it's like I keep setting myself up, like I keep having hope and faith, and I keep setting myself up for failure. And I'm about at the point where I just don't want to play anymore. There's talk about like how, like, I'm trying to figure out my next moves, right? And I'm actually at a point where I was 2 years ago, and my kid had said to me, because like 2 years ago I bought this house because I was supposed to be creating a space for my daughters and myself, and then that fell through because men wanted to exert their will and punish me. And so I'm gonna speak this honestly. My biggest sense of freedom was the first month I moved into my house, and absolutely nobody knew where I was. I know that sounds terrifying, but no, that was like, I was so scared of my family, and had every right, and still do. So scared of my family that the only peace I've ever had in 41 years was the month that no one knew where I was, until they forced me to give up my location. And I had said to my daughter like 2 weeks ago, I was like, yeah, if I had known how it was going to play out, I wouldn't have bought this house. I wouldn't have stayed in this town. And she's like, well, where would you have gone? And I was like, the answer actually shocked me, but I'm like, no, I would go ghost. And I'm really good at going ghost. But I would go ghost, like, so hard that they wouldn't be able to find me. Because what the actual fuck? Like, the people that said that they loved me did me the dirtiest. And still to this day continue. Like, it is an actual safety risk that they know where I am, because they've tried to make me sleep eternally for at least 2 years. And actually, I was thinking about that the other day. The last 4 years since I unmasked my ex, I've lived in fear. From February 11th, 2022, 3 years, not quite 4. Since February 11th, 2022, I have lived in fear every day of my life that he was going to kill me. And they've tried. So, that month that I was off the radar was the most peaceful month. And the temptation, again, to just actually disappear finally and never show up on their radar is big. And I know I just did a lot of crying and whining, and that's like the other part, like, that I'm personally battling with, because the fact of, like, in order to find any type of peace in my life, I have to completely write out my ex-husband from my existence ever, which wouldn't be so bad, except for I have 2 babies that I absolutely adore that are attached to him, that he won't play fairly about. He won't, none of that. So I'm like, it's the point of where I may have to go completely no contact with my children, which breaks my heart. It is a safety risk for them, because my ex-husband allows them to be around he allows them to be around people that are known for making people sleep permanently. They're around people that are known for liking little kids, all kinds of nefarious things. I'm like, you know what? They chose that path, and that breaks my heart too. So, I don't know. I don't even know.
thank you guys for listening to my freaking TED Talk de-evolution of crap, because that's like the thing that nobody ever talks about. Like, we talk about abuse, right? And people say, well, why didn't you leave? Post-separation abuse and what abusers do when you actually draw a boundary with them is horrifying. I've been trying to get away from this man for over 2 years, and it's still horrifying. So, and police officers actually don't help you. They intensify that. The court system doesn't listen about abuse. They actually give your kids to the abusers. If you speak too loudly, they will turn the cops and the sheriff on you. I had that because I was complaining too much about being abused, and I was complaining about the safety of my children. I became a target by police and sheriff. So, yeah. Anywho. Alright, well, I'm gonna hop out. Thank you. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just like, it's been something. Anyway, I am Lara Joe, Siren Song Lover. To donate, which is greatly needed and appreciated, is Cash App. It's Siren, capital S, Song, capital S, Lover, capital L. To book a reading, it's Ko-Fi, which is ko-fi.com/Siren Song Lover. And I will catch you guys later. Bye.